Ki Bajayo Jaya Gaura Chande Aarti Kasho Ki Bajayo Oh
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Jaya Gaura Nitaya 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 Gaura Nitaya Gaura Nitaya Jaya Jaya Gaura Nitaya Jaya Jaya Gaura Nitaya Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Prabhupada Stotra Shakti Bhagres Abhay Charan Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Maharaj की जय नीति लीलाओं Вишнупада Парамахамса Паривраджакачаря Штутара Шрада His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj की जय नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्री मुकुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री नवद्वीप मायपुर धाम की जय यमुना माय गंगा माय की जय भक्ति देवी श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय संकीर्तन न्यागी की जय श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premananda. All glories to the Son of Devotees. All glories to the Son of Devotees. All glories to the Son of Devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Prahlad Daine. Prahlad Prahlad Daine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilakam
Srila Bhagavan ki, Srila Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My name is Krishna Dalal Das. Whoa. And I'd like to welcome you to our Sunday Feast program here at ISKCON Ottawa. Welcome to all of you. This is the residence of our beloved Shri Shri Gaura Nitai Ki. Who's none other than Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. And I'd start off by asking if there's anybody here coming for the first time. Any guests coming for the first time? By show of hands? Hare Krishna. Welcome. Okay. Do you mind telling me, you sir over here in the blue? Yes, you here looking behind you. How did you find out about this? Pardon me? Google's? Oh, Jaya. Google key? What about this? The two gentlemen behind you. Are you here for the first time as well?
I'm here.
Okay. So how'd you get here?
Yes, not one of my first times. I would volunteer here every once in a while.
For Govinda's or that's awesome. Wonderful. Thank you for coming. Oh, we're giving out some gifts here. So show of hands, who's coming for the first time again? Keep those hands up. Sahil Prabhu's coming around, Mother Shruti's coming around with gifts for you. Keep them up. Yeah. All right, Krishna. All right, wonderful. Did we get everybody? We gotta get more. We're not used to so many people coming for the first time at the same time. So that's really wonderful. I'd like to also acknowledge our guests online here. We have 4 guests joining us. Madhava Mohini, Hare Krishna. We have a Zoom user, Hare Krishna. We have Shreyas Prabhu, Hare Krishna. And that's wonderful. Thank you all for joining us. So, is it anybody's first time by show of hands to temple? Have you been to a Hare Krishna temple before? No? Some nods? Okay. All right, so I'll give you a little bit of an introduction. As you can see, as you come in here, you're like these weird customs, they're bowing down to the floor, they're touching the floor with their heads, and they're dancing and they're chanting some mantras, it's far out. It's kind of cool, mystical almost. So this is coming from an ancient tradition, and we have temples that are all around the world. So you have a center here in Ottawa, you have a center in Montreal, Toronto, and in many other countries. And we're known as the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Right? Krishna is another name for God. Right? The Sanskrit word Krishna means all attractive. Right? So it's a very suiting Sanskrit name for the Lord. Right? And we're also popularly known as the Hare Krishnas. Right? Why? Because we go around singing Hare Krishna pretty often. And because our teachings show us that actually the Lord is present within His name. So when we chant the name of the Lord, and the Lord dances on our tongues, we get direct communion. We get to have association with the Supreme. And this becomes it's quite a transcendental experience. A lot of the guests that we have that have been coming here for a long time, they've taken it up as an experiment, right? To come, they chant this specific prescribed amount of rounds, right, of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra daily. They come together, many times throughout the week. We have Kirtan sessions, right, which is meditation, which is chanting to the accompaniment of music, just like we did today. And it's a process. It's like you can try it, you can test it, and see how it makes you feel. And I'm sure if you'll talk with some of the friends here tonight, they can share some of their experiences with you. But I won't take away from our speaker for today, so I'll go on to introducing him, and he could maybe tell us a little bit more. And perhaps if you have some questions, hold on to them, and feel free to share them with us afterwards. Perhaps some reflections, thoughts. So now we'll have a discussion, or we'll have a presentation from the Bhagavad Gita. And after that, we will have a little bit more kirtan, finish up the evening. And then we have a feast. So it's a vegetarian feast that has been prepared and it has been offered to Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda. And we hope that you could stay with us and share this experience with us as well. Hare Krishna. So without further ado, let's give a round of applause for our speaker today, His Grace Mandala Rama Prabhu. Mandala Rama Prabhu he'll be, I'm sure, a familiar face to all of you. If you come throughout the week or you've been volunteering here throughout the week here and there, he's the Govindas. We have a restaurant here throughout the week, Monday to Saturday, 12 to 7 p.m. And he's our head coordinator, one of our head cooks. And he really loves, this is a great passion of his, making prasadam, making food with love, with bhakti, and offering it to the devotees as well, to the Lord and the devotees. And he's also very enthusiastic. He'll go out, you might see him on Rideau's street or around the university throughout the week. He likes to chant and likes to distribute books on the science of Krishna consciousness. He is the disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami, who is one of our leaders for Canada, one of the Swamis who kind of, his jurisdiction is taking care of the temples in Canada and in other countries as well. And so let's hear what he has to say. I think we're going to start off with singing Jaya Radha Madhava, which is a prayer right here on the board, and we'll put the microphone over to him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We had such a wonderful little intro kirtan there that I'm going to ask if you could keep playing the kartals. I'll just kind of clap along, and we'll sing one more bhajan to set the mood right. This is just a practice that we do in glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And you can either close your eyes, just listen to the transcendental sound vibration, get absorbed in the beautiful sound of this bhajan, or you can read along from the board up here. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana So I see we got a lot of empty space in the room, and we'll have more people coming in the evening. So if you guys like to move up about 10 inches, you're a vegetarian, so no need to be afraid. Classic joke in the Hare Krishna tradition. So yeah, come on up. Unless, and if you guys need like some seats to sit on, some backrests, just find a place where you're comfortable also. We want everyone, this is all like a big family. This is just going to be like a discussion, a conversation to try to extract some spiritual insight and make yourself comfortable. Doesn't have to be so formal. So I'll just do one last invocation prayer before reading from the sacred text known as the Bhagavad Gita, as it is, unchanged, and as it's meant to be presented. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha today I was thinking about a topic which could be discussed, which is going to be focus, and leading into spiritual focus. We're all here because we have some spiritual inclination and desires to connect in a deeper way in life. And therefore, we're little units of attention, and where attention goes, energy flows. So the Bhagavad Gita covers all subject matters, and this chapter, chapter 2, it'll kind of be addressing that point of focus, and then we'll expand on the topic. And first, I'd like to also thank all the YouTubers who have been tuning in. I think we just hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. All glories to Mother Ikara Janaki's service of connecting the World Wide Web to the beautiful temple we have here. And that was also a plug, so if you haven't subscribe, and we'll bump up the numbers some more. So the verse and the chapter was chapter 2, text 41. Everyone can hear okay? Okay. So whoever wants to follow along, if you got a cell phone, you can tune into the database, but we'll do the Sanskrit here. Vivasyatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushaka hinantascha buddhayo vivasainam. This was a Sanskrit. The English translation means, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So remember, keep in mind, the topic was focus, attention. So we'll just read the purport and then we'll have a discussion and conversation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jaya. Strong faith. A strong faith that by Krishna consciousness, one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vivasyatmika, intelligence. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. I'll repeat that one. Faith means let's do that together. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. Nice. When one is engaged in the duties of Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with obligations to family traditions, humanity, or nationality. Fruitive activities are the engagements of one's reaction from past good or bad deeds. When one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results of his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane, for they are no longer subject dualities. They're no longer subject to dualities like good and bad. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. The resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. Vasudeva Savarmiti Samahatma Sadurlabha. A person in Krishna consciousness is the rare good soul who knows perfectly that Vasudeva, or Krishna, is the root of all material, or of all manifested causes. As by watering the root of a tree, one automatically distributes the water to the leaves, branches, and so by acting in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. If Krishna is satisfied by one's action, if Krishna is satisfied by one's actions, then everyone will be satisfied. Service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of Krishna, who knows the nature of the student, and who can help guide them to act in Krishna consciousness. As such, to be well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna. And one should accept the instructions of a bona fide spiritual teacher as one's mission in life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instructs us in his famous prayers for the spiritual master as follows. Yasya prasada bhagavat prasada, yasya prasada nagati kutopi, kayam stuvam stasya, yasya trisantyam, vande guru shri vindam. By satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for the mercy 3 times a day and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. The whole process, however, depends on perfect knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body. Not theoretical, but practically. When there is no longer a chance for sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities, one who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various types of fruitive activities. Hare Krishna. So, we'll put this in context. We all have some focuses in life, some things that we have to give our attention to. Maybe we could name 4 or 5 from our live audience. If anyone would like to say, what are some things that we focus on or have to give our attention to nowadays? Things at the top of your list. What are priorities?
Work.
Work is one. Yeah.
Education.
Schooling. Yeah, that's something that we got to give our attention to. I heard some from the ladies. Huh? Family. Yes. 1 or 2 more?
Different kind of shit, I'm sorry.
Different kinds of nonsense stuff. And yeah, a whole lot of stuff we gotta keep at the top of the list, juggle, manage, focus on. But surprisingly, we're in a temple and no one said spiritual life. What is that about? That actually, this is a big priority in one's life here also. Just like was stated in the purport, that actually, when one takes care of their spiritual life, it's like watering the root of the tree, where you water the root, and therefore all the branches, the leaves, the fruits, the trunk, it all becomes nourished. So similarly, when we focus on our spiritual path, we have a spiritual direction in life, we have a spiritual focus, then that'll actually start to enhance all the other aspects of our life. Where we'll have that clear attention to proceed forward. I know some of the examples that were given was family. We all have to give our time to relationships. This is an aspect that we're all dealing with. Work, school, so on and so forth. And it can be a lot to juggle, also with our spiritual aspect, our spiritual aspirations. So this practice of Krishna consciousness is to help us get straight to the essence of keeping contact with spirit, keeping contact with a way of life that can uplift the consciousness, bring us to a higher perspective, and therefore, we'll see everything else in relationship. So, this practice of Krishna consciousness and faith in the divine. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. So, in this world, we put our heart in so many different directions. The word faith is usually connected with the Christian tradition. We just have faith, and we hope, we follow a certain religious practice, spiritual practice, and then at the end of our lives, we close our eyes and say, I hope I did the right thing. I hope it's going to work out. Actually, in the Vedic concept, it's known as Shraddha. What are we investing our heart into? Like we said, we invest our heart into education. I'm going to climb the system of education, come up with straight A's, get a job that pays $200,000 a year, and this is success. This will be the perfection of my life. Actually, you'll find most people that are high up in that sphere, they're struggling with depression, anxiety. Their life they have a lot of turmoil in their heart. So that's not the goal. That's not the goal. It might be an aspect of reality, but it's not the goal. A lot of time we put our faith fully in our family. And I had someone the other day come and said, they've had great relationships with their siblings their whole life, and their father just left their body. And now, since that, it's caused a tear in their relationship with their sisters, and they're all quarreling. And she said, it's not my father's death that actually hurt me. It was, how my siblings reacted. They want this, we got to divvy up this, like that. So it's not to negate the value of family and what they can add to our lives, but it's to understand that we have an eternal spiritual connection with God, with Krishna. And therefore, that sort of investment is an investment that's actually going to stick around in the long run. One point I saw today was, that this practice of focus, it's really quite difficult. I was just trying to give concentrated spiritual attention to my japa. And a lot of us, we have family. So in this context, I have a little daughter. She's 3 years old, trying to juggle around with her. And I was just trying to chant this mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And I tell her, I just want some time to chant. And within 20 seconds, she'd come run up to me, jump on me, ask me to do this, ask me to do that. So to be able to give full attention, it was so difficult, so difficult. What to speak of all these other aspects that we're all forcibly having to juggle with work, school, family. You can just do concentrated spiritual activities where you turn off your phone, you put a do not disturb sign on your door, then you'll actually be able to give proper focus. But then there's one other problem that we got. Even when you turn off all the phones, all the other distractions, there's one other big distraction. The mind. Oh yeah. That's actually the hardest one to deal with. And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, the great personality in the Bhagavad Gita, who's hearing this transcendental wisdom from Krishna, he says, Chanchalam himana Krishna pramati balavadradam tastyaham nigraham manye vayoreva sadushkaram. That Krishna, this mind is so obstinate, it's difficult, it's hard to control. It's harder to control than the raging wind. That I don't think I can practically do this, just sitting one spot, meditating for, like a mystic yogi. And Krishna says, okay, well, by steady practice in detachment, one can start to train the mind, conquer the mind. And this is a yoga practice in which we can triumph over the mind. Even when you put all those other distractions off to the side, that's still lingering there. So it's a practice by which we can implement focus. No one's born with great focus. It's really a practice that one gives, where they place their attention. So that's one tip of how one can kind of curb the mind and focus on their spiritual life. Another way is really this component of bhakti. This practice of bhakti yoga is the ultimate way to curb the mind and focus it on spiritual activities, on elevating the consciousness. We see these beautiful deities here. When I walked in, I looked at them and I saw, wow, that must have took so much focus. Look at the attention, the symmetry of the flowers, the exact same in both ways. The devotees who gave their attention to doing this devotional service of dressing the deities, making nice garlands, decorating them in all sorts of ways. This is a way that the mind can be attracted and focused on God, on divinity. So that's one way. Another way is we're known as the kitchen religion, where we are trying to cook with consciousness, cooking with consciousness. So focusing, another practical thing of Krishna consciousness is cooking. So we're cooking and we're focusing on the spices for them not to burn while cooking, the timings, all of this. So we have to give our attention here as well. And along with that is, japa meditation. So we have a whole lifestyle where one can start to bring their consciousness towards spiritual activities and therefore focus on the ultimate goal of life. Sometimes it's hard to do it on our own. We have limited capacity. Sometimes we have spouts of discontentment, feeling, I'm struggling in my spiritual life, I'm struggling with controlling my mind. And this is also where a community that is spiritually focused comes into play, where we're all here today to be a part of something sublime, make a contribution in a way that we can uplift society, uplift our own lives, and all those that are connected to it. So to have that as a regular activity that we do, coming to a spiritual community that's focused on these sorts of activities within bhakti is a beautiful thing. As well as in this purport, it was giving kind of a hint to how we could enter into deeper spiritual focus, which was, I can do all these things on my own, I can endeavor to the best of my ability, but when I come in contact with a great spiritual personality, someone with some deep spiritual substance, then I approach them, as Krishna recommends in the Bhagavad Gita. This is a system in the Vedic context of how to enter into spiritual knowledge. He says, Tad vidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadakshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshanaha. That you approach one of these bona fide spiritual teachers, someone with deep character, spiritual substance. You inquire from them in a humble attitude, and therefore they're going to be eager to reveal their heart. They're going to be eager to open up to you, pass on that spiritual transmission, that spiritual knowledge to one. So this is how one, because we all have some activities in life, and when we come to the temple, we also want to pick up a spiritual focus. You might say, okay, I'm coming here just on a Sunday to just see the deities, say Haribol. But actually how we can advance is you pick up a service, and that's going to bring your attention. That's going to give you some focus. So when you come here, you ask, what can I do? How can I serve? What can I take on a task to contribute to this beautiful spiritual society? Then you'll see, we'll get that empowerment to have that focus, that steadiness, that also ability that encourages us to keep moving forward in our spiritual lives. So those spiritual teachers, those people that are really, there's, I guess I'll shift it this way now also, that we have so many activities in life, and it's hard to juggle. So we want to get more focused on those things where we have to place our attention. But the ultimate is focusing on our spiritual life, and therefore this community, picking up a service, can be beneficial to that. But a spiritual teacher, a real spiritual master, when we get connected to this, those people, what is the qualification of that, and how can we actually resonate with those people? I have a lot of people asking, how do we find a spiritual teacher? Is there anyone around here? There's no one in Ottawa or around the world. That there's 3 qualifications that one should have. That person, I'll say them in simple. That person should be similar-minded, meaning you're attracted to their way of thinking, that you connect with them in that way. They should have some love for you. Meaning they actually have some genuine care, your well-wishing, your best of heart. And then also, they should be able to elevate you. They should be able to give you a deeper perspective to help you advance in spiritual life. So these are some things when someone's approaching someone with knowledge. We have many people in the community here. I'm not one of them, so don't look at me. But I'm just relaying whatever is spoken in the Gita here. That it'll help us in our real mission of the human experience, where we can develop a deep, loving connection with God, with Krishna, and be a giver, be someone who's contributing in a focused way that can help transform society and the world in a very positive way. So sometimes we'll find that, why do I need a spiritual teacher? Why is that? Is that something that's needed? In the Vedic system, it is essential to approach through the means of disciplic succession, this chain of teachers, because we're all being passed down something. And when knowledge descends, ultimately from this great wisdom, to someone who has the best interests at heart, they know the wisdom, this is going to create a great transformation in the heart. So we should seek out those types of people in our lives that can give us guidance, give us practical tips, give us some inspiration by which we can advance in our spiritual life. And they don't have to be just questions that are up in the air of deep transcendental spiritual subjects. These people also give some practical knowledge as well, where you can conquer over the mind, and make practical advancement in spiritual life, or in material life, and in spiritual life. I shouldn't say material life, in their day-to-day business, but that will lead them towards transcendence. So, this is all I wanted to say. Let's just get a little focused, and keep adding some more spiritual dimensions to one's life. Chanting is one of those great things that can help with that. And reading sacred wisdom literatures. So maybe if anyone has any questions for how to get focused. I do a lot better with Q&As, to be honest. So I like the discussion aspect more.
Hare Krishna for everybody. I don't have the question, I just have experience that I can share only this way, maybe. I have my spiritual master, he is not as a Krishna consciousness, but I need to say he gave me an example how I want to be in this life. And when we interact, when we speak with each other, he gave me an example of how I would be in every point of my life, what I should to say, what I shouldn't to say, how I shouldn't to say. He gave me a reaction on my on me, yes. And after this, after the conversations, I feel that something changed in my behavior, and I stay more calm and more evaluated. That's for agree with that word what you said before about that the qualities of the master, how it will be. Maybe somebody can see in the life the same person already exist in their life, but don't understand that. Maybe we need to be more concentrated and more open to feelings. Maybe already we have a spiritual master, everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point that you're getting to is, we might have a direct spiritual teacher, but we also want to be able to learn from all environments. There's different teachers in our lives that'll be there. We can learn from nature. We can learn from interactions with others, especially when there's negative reactions. We have a bad tiff or a bad fight with one of our close friends or family members, and this is an opportunity to learn how to deal with one's emotions, deal with their the problems of the mind that can arise. And in our spiritual pursuit, we're always thinking, I want to learn from every single situation so I can rise above it, get a deeper perspective. Therefore, and if we don't learn from that, then these problems could arise again and again, and until we actually learn the message. So, you're mentioning how that you had a spiritual teacher, and he was helping you with more practical things. Was that it?
Like mentor.
I practice, but without a teacher. Teacher is from another.
Teacher don't in the Krishna consciousness, but he really to change my behavior and stay and help me stay more calm and more kind, more smart than I was. It is not just a simple experience that I can give from the different situation. After the speaking with him, I feel all time that I like a grow and not like the simple situations, something very intimacy and that I can't explain just in the words. We just need to see how I was and how I now. That for the difference we can understand what about you. I normal to describe.
Mm-hmm. Well, we could say sometimes there's a lot of mental problems going on in the world, and people go to psychiatrists. You could say, oh, this is someone who's really a great teacher for me. They've helped me learn to calm my mind, see things, have a deeper focus. But that's a little different from a guru. A guru is kind of geared towards spiritual teachings also, getting right to the root of the cause of existence and what the biggest trouble in the world is. So that way they're going to elevate the perspective beyond the body, beyond the mind, and get to the spiritual. So that's what a guru is there for. But we will also find teachers in different aspects, whether you've got to know how to fix a car or a refrigerator, or someone teaching you how to take out the garbage and put the recycling in the recycling box and the cardboard in the cardboard. These are different teachers. Or teaching character, like you're really getting to. Teaching qualities of goodness. But we've got to still approach a spiritual teacher, because we need to know spiritual subjects, because we are spiritual beings within a material experience, and that's how we get right to the real cause. Thank you for that, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for your wonderful class. It's always good to hear from you. Just want to share my realization. Like it mentioned about the aspect of a life like work, education, and family. Yeah, we have to do that, but that's not the purpose of life. We have to take care of them. But if we get attached to that, then we forgot the real purpose of life, why we got this human body. And like you mentioned about the verse from the Chanchala Himana, like Arjun said that I can even control the wind, but I can't control the mind. So, and Krishna says that Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Keep your mind towards me. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satyayuktam bhajtimam pritipurutam yogakshinam mahavayam. Like, I will take care of you, whatever you have, and whatever you need, I will give it to you. But you have to fully surrender onto me. Keep your minds towards me. So, just this is my realization. Thank you, Prabhu.
Nice. You summarized the whole goal of what I was trying to say in just a couple words. Keep your mind focused on Krishna. That's the best place to put one's attention. So, thank you for that, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hey, Denzel. Hare Krishna. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I've heard of people having spiritual guides or gurus that are no longer in body. I was just wondering what the Vedas had to say about that.
Nice. Good question. So, like I was saying, we'll have teachers of all different sorts. We have our, prime example is Srila Prabhupada, someone who was so spiritually focused that they changed the whole globe, and they got this spiritual focus at a young age. 20 years old, he got this instruction from his live spiritual teacher, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, that gave him a mission, a direction to go, that spread this message of Krishna consciousness far and wide to the Western world. And he wasn't able to complete that until he was 70. I just want to give that little prelude that in the Vedic system, there's always a parampara. So it's a chain of teacher to student, teacher to student, teacher to student. And therefore, it serves, for many different reasons. That teacher, they've received the knowledge from a great authority, someone who is completely self-realized soul, and then that's been transmitted to the next person. So they're like carrying the torch. There's that reason that knowledge has to come down intact, because if we just try to skip a link, it's like a chain. You have a chain, but one link is missing, falls apart. So there has to be that complete lineage coming down. Otherwise, I could receive something from one individual and I could kind of manipulate it, lose the substance, miss the point, miss the essence. In some cases, I've heard you can have these connections also with people who have left their body. There are mystics there that we have these spiritual connections. But we also need a practical guide for someone embodied, someone living, that they can, because what do we want to do in our spiritual life? We're really wanting to crush our false ego. We want to smash our false ego. We're so puffed up that we think, I'm so great, I'm so smart, I'm so handsome, so strong, I'm so spiritual. But actually, a spiritual teacher is going to help us remove our false ego, this me-centric understanding, and realize I'm just an insignificant servant, a little part and parcel of the Supreme, and I'm meant to render some sort of service, a connection with divinity. And if we don't have someone who is embodied, someone who's a living guru, a living figure that we can learn from, how did they live their lives? What's their lifestyle like? What do they do in these tense situations that one might have to deal with, others, so on and so forth. We don't get that opportunity to learn in the same way, so it serves, for a way to keep the tradition, the spiritual knowledge intact, but also for practical reasons, that we can extract so much wisdom from their practical life, their daily activities, their steadiness, their focus in spiritual life, that it's very important, and one would say it's essential also. So it's not that, like, for us, I have a spiritual teacher, His Divine Grace Bhakti Marg Swami, that I've seen, his practical life, how he leads, how he talks, how he shares wisdom. I like his mood. I'm really connected with that. But also in another sense is we have, like, in the Hare Krishna tradition, Srila Prabhupada, but she left his body. We're all connected to him through wisdom teachings also, but there's still that defining factor that we need to be connected in the chain. And that's how you get this special empowerment also to do greater things in the world. Because if I skip a link, then the next thing I'm going to say, okay, I'm just going to have Srila Prabhupada as my guru. I don't need anyone in between that be a medium. It's just me and him, Prabhupada all the way. I could easily just go up to, okay, actually, it's me and Chaitanya, 500 years ago. It's just me and him. He's my guru. In one sense, yes, he is. That I'm taking lessons from him, so on. But then the chain could go up to wherever. Krishna, you're my direct guru. Yeah, there's Krishna within the heart, so on and so on, forth. But there's still this system in place that we can be connected in the proper channels, so that we don't become, self-made guru, ultimately, a self-made guru. Because there's no such thing as self-made guru in the Vedic tradition. You've always received something from someone else, and now you're just passing on that message. You want to give that forward, pay it forward, as we say nowadays. So, it's a big topic, but those are just some of the different angles of vision. I guess on the other side, the other angle of argument, that there are great spiritual masters and teachers who have left their body, who are still inspiring people and helping them develop love for divinity, a spiritual practice. So we would just say, don't leave it there. Don't leave it at just that. And also make a connection in a spiritual tradition that you become officially connected. Therefore, you can still receive that great benefit that they're presenting, giving forward, but get connected. We all want to get connected. That's the whole yoga process. What does yoga actually mean? Yoga comes from the Sanskrit word yud. Does anyone know what that means? To reconnect. So we got to find a way to be connected, and usually that parampara system is the way. Is that okay, Prabhu? You got a follow-up?
Yeah, thank you. That was beautifully answered.
Hare Krishna.
One last. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Focus. As you mentioned, when we do service, it's also one of the focus, like making garland and stuff. I would like to share an example. It's one of the past that we can say happened in this temple only when we were cleaning the whole Maha cleanup before Balaram Purnima. I was in the kitchen, like washing utensils. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm doing dishes, I'm washing it. But suddenly a Prabhuji came and he was like, we need to be focused, this is not right, there is something left. And I was like, okay. And then he mentioned a line, and then I was so focused. He was like, these utensils are not like normal utensils. It's the personal utensils of the Lord of Universe, Karnitai, So when he said that line, my mind was focused. It's like, oh my God, this is not a normal utensil which I wash at my work or at my place, my own house. It's the personal utensils of Garnitai, Shishi Garnitai. So then my mind was focused, like cleaning it very nicely. I need to do this service for the Lord. It shouldn't be like, something left over, a food particle or whatever. So that helped me a lot in focusing on the seva I was doing. So same thing when we are in family or at work, we can focus in the mood, like even if I'm bathing for Krishna. If I'm breaking for Krishna. If I'm doing anything, when you connect that, you're actually doing seva, and at the same time you focus. You focus so hard. Like if you're cooking for Ekadashi Prasad, I will make sure there's no grain particle touching that food or something like that. So we really focus. So connecting to Krishna, to your activities, I think it really helps to focus. That's my realization. And following up with the Prabhuji's question, even Prabhupada was a great leader, and everybody used to ask Prabhupada, what would happen like if you leave your body? Right now you're handling everything. He was okay, he's doing that, he's doing that. Prabhupada said, I'm always alive in my books. You can talk to me through my books. My teachings are there, I'm always alive. The biggest example when we distribute the book, so the desire of going to temple or desire of chanting, it's through the book only. So it means there is someone alive in the book. It's Prabhupada's teaching and Prabhupada himself who talk and give that mercy to the person who doesn't know about a single line about our Vedic scriptures, but by just reading that book, he's talking to Prabhupada, talking to Krishna, and then he ended up coming to the temple and become a great Vaishnava. So in this way, we can always have a guru through books, but for sure we need someone in person, because our mind is so chanchal. I mean, it will go away like that. Our faith. Let's say I'm going to a parallel situation and suddenly I got something bad happened in my life. It's like, okay, my faith is gone on Bhagavad Gita, but there has to be someone who will push you back. So in that case, we need a personal Guru Maharaj for sure, but Prabhupada is always alive in his books. That's my realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice. Well, you sound very spiritually focused, Prabhu. So when you get spiritually focused, your whole consciousness is changed. So speaking of which, we are going to get very spiritually focused now. We're going to do some kirtan, where we can just absorb the mind in this transcendental sound of the Hare Krishna mantra, and you can just dance in wild abandonment, you lose your cool, and this is completely bona fide in the spiritual tradition. So really focus on the mantra. It's call and response. This is the whole system that's set up. Kirtan means to glorify God. One person will chant, and then you hear while they're chanting, and then you repeat. You send it out there to the heavens. So that's what we're going to do now. So we'll stand up, shake your legs, get loose, and yeah, we'll have a wild Hare Krishna dance party. Thank you guys so much. Hare Krishna.
Камеру включишь?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prasthaya Rama Hare चैतन्य की गौर जी की शील प्रभुपाद की गुरुदेव की जय हो।
Paramahamsa Puri Jaya Stotra Stotra Shishimad is divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Puri Jaya Stotra Stotra Shishimad is divine grace. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem Se Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudhi Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Gira Govardhana ki. Vrindavan Dham ki. Navadvip Dham ki, Mathura Dham ki, Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Ganga Maya Yamunamai ki, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki, Sankirtan Yagya ki, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki, Gaura Pramananda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much for your enthusiastic participation. A real party in here. Haribol. So now prasadam is going to be served. Just wait a few minutes. Our devotees, volunteers are going to come up and bring the prasadam. And the curtains will close shortly. So if you'd like to come up and close and say some prayers in front of the lordships, feel free to do so. Take darshan. And before I do that, conclude, I just wanted to also put attention to the poster. We have this wonderful poster that we presented on Friday. It was for our upcoming festival, Vaishnava Sangha Festival, which is our Hare Krishna party in the woods for 4 days. Okay? August 16th to the 20th. This is about 4 hours away from here. Right? So it's 2 hours kind of northeast of Montreal. In Saint-Mathieu-de-Parc. We're infringing on quite French territory over there, right? But that's okay. So part of what we do there actually, every day of the festival, we go out in Harinam, right? So we go to a neighboring town there, it's called Shawinigan, right? Some people call it Shenanigans because they can't get it right, but it's Shawinigan, that's the name, Shawinigan. And near Trois-Rivières also. And so we go out, and I remember previous years, we were doing Harinam outside, and there was like 75 participants from the festival that would go out. And as we were walking through the city there, it was like people were looking at us as though we were like from the moon or something. Because they, not from a big city, right, where you see like anything. Like you see Hare Krishnas walking down the street in Toronto, New York, and Ottawa. It's like, okay, cool, diversity, right? But there, it's like, wow, where did they come from, right? And it's really a wonderful experience, right? To go and connect and share with others and invite. And it's a full immersive 4 days. We have seminars that are being given by guests, by gurus, right? We're talking about this topic of taking knowledge from a guru, right? So some opportunity really to meet some sincere practitioners who have been, following the path of bhakti for decades. So they will be there. So there's one thing though, if you want to go, you have to register, okay? So there's a link here at the bottom. I guess you can't press it. You'd have to type it into your phone. There's a QR, is there a QR code? You don't have a QR code yet. That's a good idea though. And we have little handout flyers too that you can take. Can I just get a show of hands out of curiosity? Who has registered so far in this room for the festival? Okay, not so many. We have about 70 participants registered so far. And so if you haven't had a chance to register, the spaces are filling up, right? There's only, I think, about like 150 spaces on site. Then we have some hotel accommodations off-site. We have some tent accommodations. Well, you'd have to bring your own tent, right, to be accommodated. But it's a first come, first served basis. So if you haven't registered yet, do it. Just do it. Okay? You can do it today, you can do it on your phone. We have a poster, we'll put these posters up in the temple, and let's see if we can get the numbers out there. And it's really an experience that you don't want to miss. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, we have an announcement here from beloved Sri Chan Prabhu. He was observing, he's been in different temples and places, and he wanted to say something. So I'm going to give the microphone over to him.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Yeah, that was fun. We had Kirtan and we had beautiful class by Mandala Rama Prabhu. And now more Kirtan. And now we are all looking forward to Mahaprasadam. So the distribution of prasadam, or we call it Sunday feast, it was expenditure on the temple. And to cover the costs, partially I would say, we are seeking voluntary donations from the devotees present every Sunday. So starting today, I will be approaching each one of you with the request to make voluntary donations. It can be a small amount, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 or big. We also know that many of us don't carry the cash these days. So those of you who don't have cash, they can make the donations by card and approach Sahil Prabhu. He's there in that yellow t-shirt. So he'll be more than happy to accept the donations by card. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and we'll accept any kind of donation as long as it's under, $5,000, right? Let's just keep it under 5,000, okay? But any contributions when you go to any place of worship, usually, I remember growing up in this temple, many years ago, and when we would pass around the tray with the diya, with the fire, we would, somebody would be, passing the tray around, and devotees would put donations on the tray, right? And that's something that's, I think, also part of the culture in India. Also, we do that when you go to the temple, we do that. And I guess time has passed by, and now for the most part, people don't actually carry cash also, so it's a little bit different. But we do have some terminals in the back, and it's true. Any donation will be greatly appreciated. It'll be put to good use, right, to cover the cost of the food that's being prepared, as well as many other initiatives, such as the temple rebuild, right? As we can see, the space is getting small for the amount of persons that are coming in here, so your contributions will go towards that. And we're just getting ready to get some printed out receipts from the Shrutis working on that, so we can, on the spot, if you give over a certain amount, you can get a donation receipt on the spot, right here, and you could take that with you as well. So we look forward to getting with the times a little bit. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Oh yes. Krshna-seva Prabhu looked at me and he went like this, he said, right? He's trying to remind me that it's Nishinga Chaturdasi this Thursday. Appearance of Nishinga Dev, right? And so we'll have a program here at the temple at 6:30 on Thursday. So it's another great festival, another great reason to remember God, remember the Lord. So if you can come make it at 6:30 after work, and we'll have some discussion, we'll have more kirtan and prasadam as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. A couple of more final announcements. While devotees are taking darshan and pictures before the altar is closed. So we are having spiritual growth group every Saturday at the temple, which is Bhakti Vriksha, well-known program where everyone can get new association with friends, get new friends, and we're chanting one round of japa Mahamantra together. There are some icebreakers to get to know each other better, and there is short kirtan and some sweets, some prasadam is sharing. So that's every Saturday. If in case you would like to, get more into the philosophy, into discussion, that everyone is welcome. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Mataji Sadhana and Mataji Karani Janaki is leading this program. And also we have once a month the same program with Vrindavan Prabhu. Vrindavan Prabhu, are you here? Could you raise your hand? Yeah, he was here. Anyway, we can, Mataji is here, he has his wife. So they are having this program every month at their home, western part of the city. So what works for you better, please reach out to them if you would like to get to know more. Thank you. And the very last announcement. If you would like to help us wrapping up the program, we will be cleaning the floor, cleaning the temple, dishes, and we would appreciate it. Time?
About 11 o'clock they have kids program, yes?
11 till noon.
Yes, Adisham Prabhu is leading the kids program every Saturday at the temple, 11 a.m. And with Krishna Prabhu, with their wives, and they just dance with kids before the altar, and the kids are getting used to the Krishna consciousness. Please reach out to Adisham Prabhu, Hare Krishna, that's it.
Last year.